So let's see what's going on in your reading. Down at the base of your spine for your sourcing and urgings, receive the Page of Swords. He brings in a lot of thoughts, ideas, and unfortunately, many, many opinions. Never underestimate the Page of Swords because he's very clever, but he lacks in emotional control. And this is where you'll hear somebody say something that you think, did that person really say that? Because it was probably jaw-dropping, awe-dropping. The Page of Swords isn't really the kind of person you want to have around you, like at work or as a neighbor or something, because they're always sneaking around being a secret agent man, trying to get dirt on you and then turning around and gossiping about you. And I mean, boy, that sword is just cutting with words and saying very hurtful things. And maybe you should kind of keep an eye out on somebody in your life that's doing that. And if you're the one that is doing it, to stop it. But whatever is going on with the Page of Swords is causing some kind of morass in your life. Because the clarification card is the Five of Pentacles. This is a card that points out that your physical world needs some dire attention. I call the Five of Pentacles the card of impoverishment. It's about being poor, loss of wealth. But Pentacles is not only wealth, it's health, and it can be well-being too. Something that's affecting your health, as well as your finances. Something's impacting your productivity and it's exhausting your strength. It's depleting you. I used the word deprivation the other day and I thought, yeah, that applies to Five of Pentacles. It's damaging lack of material things. The rug's been slipped right out from under you. And I can see that happening because up there in your pelvic and your sacrum for awakening and arousing, you receive the Tower and the Death card together. Now this is heavy-duty juju. And I think this is all related to the Page of Swords and the Five of Pentacles, and what's going on between those two is now causing some anarchy with your spiritual awakening and your personal well-being, and maybe even your sex life, I don't know. But the Tower is saying something suddenly collapsed. And in a funny way, it can be positive because it can be like freedom from bondage. It can indicate some type of release and relief at the same time. But whatever's happening here has caused you to go into a transformation. Whatever heavy-duty things have happened to you recently has made you rethink about what's going on. And the Page of Swords is one of the cards, too, that has you recheck and rethink things. There's some positive things about the Page of Swords, but you have to be very careful when you see him in your spreads. Well, now that lightning has struck and you're moving along to bigger and better, hopefully, we'll go up to the solar plexus and see that even though you're in a transformation, you're still in bondage because you got the Eight of Swords not once but twice. You haven't freed yourself from something, ideas, possessions, people. In reality, you can escape any time, but you choose not to, which is inhibiting your personal growth. Because now we go down to the heart of the matter and receive the Page of Wands. Once again, you have this immature page energy coming into the party. Now these two pages, the Page of Swords and the Page of Wands, may be bringing in some type of news or messages, because that's what they're well known for. But here the Page of Wands is about fire energy. It's about playing with fire and possibly getting hurt. But he can be important about bringing new things into your life, inspiring prophetic changes that'll take you out of your comfort zone, because definitely your unconscious side needs a little revamping here. And it looks like good things are coming too, because the clarification card for the Page of Wands is the Ten of Cups. A little glimpse of heaven over the rainbow of cups. The card of happiness. The card that requires you to live simply so you achieve happiness. A complicated life is not a happy life. You might not have the biggest house on the block or the most expensive car in the driveway, but you can have happiness in your life and in your home. And this is something that appears that you want to achieve. Now down on the bottom right for your throat, for your teaching, communicating, you receive the Sun card. How excellent, a new day dawning. You know, it's like the fog rising and all of a sudden you're seeing things with clarity, understanding, and fulfillment. It's a purification after walking the shadowy path of the moon of the previous card. And the clarification card here is justice. When you see the presence of justice, it usually means that something's out of balance. You know, it can be contracts and court proceedings and different things like that, and maybe you're coming out on top on these, but I'm sensing it's more that things are coming back into an equilibrium. And maybe some people like the Page of Swords who has been misbehaving is going to receive the sort of accountability for his behavior. And now that things are coming back into balance, it appears that there's going to be a little more spiritual illumination through the Sun card. It's kind of like your unconscious and conscious sides are finally talking to each other. So I think there was a lot of battles going on between your unconscious and your conscious. And why not? My goodness, with the Tower and the Death card alone is enough to say that there's been some turmoil going on inside you. Now up in your third eye for seeing and envisioning, you got the Lover's card, and it's right next to the Ten of Cups. The Ten of Cups is about family happiness, and the Lover's card too is about manifesting deeper emotional bonds with people. Lovers, family, friends. It's about harmonious relationships and making good decisions, making virtuous decisions, instead of decisions that are driven by vice. And the clarification card is another good card. It's the Seven of Pentacles. I call this the almost the harvest card. You've worked really hard. You have your crops out in the field and you're just about ready to harvest, but they're not quite done yet. And this is the tenuous time where frost, hail, flooding can wipe you out. And it's time to be vigilant and pay attention to detail. That's one thing that the Page of Swords had advised too, is to recheck your details. And the Justice card too can do the same thing when you're looking at documentation and paperwork and legal matters, is recheck your details. Now up in the crown, for your knowing and understanding, receive the Ace of Cups. There you go. You got a new beginning for love and emotions. And it's right over the Lover's card. So this does have something to do with emotions. Love, caring, kindness. And the clarification card is the Six of Swords. It says you're moving on. You're moving away from the bad unconscious things. And I pulled another clarification card and you received the Two of Cups. The Minor Arcana Lover's card. So, and you see the Six of Swords is floating right towards the Two of Cups. So now there is going to be some rejuvenation in your emotional self and how you project yourself out to other people for love and caring. And on the left for your past, you received the Hanged Man. He kind of goes along with all of that's going on in the unconscious side. The legend goes that he's the Norse god Odin, of knowledge, healing, death, and war, who hung for 9 days for the wisdom of the runes, secret ancient letters. Odin conquered his struggle within by sacrificing himself to actually himself for rebirth. He relinquished freedom from the outside world for stillness to acquire the rune's wisdom through a spiritual journey of death to rebirth. In reality, the legend goes that he actually physically died and came back to life. His lesson is to stop trying to control the physical world and look at things in a different light and relinquish old ideas because new ideas are avidly seeking their place. Pretty much he's saying just go with the flow. And maybe that's been hard for you to do because the clarification card is the Three of Swords. It's the heartbreak card. It's about severing ties. You might have checked into a heartbreak hotel. But this might not be from necessarily a love breakup. But this can be the loss of a family member, a friend. It's just an emptiness. And all of a sudden you're thrown into that hangman mode. It was time to take a time out and rethink things because your unconscious self has been in constant turmoil. But with the Justice card there, it appears that things are now equilibrating. And many things are looking up after you've gone through the Hanged Man journey, because over on the right for the future, receive the King of Cups. This is you, Cancer. You're in Cancer land now. This is personifying you all the way. You've made it up to the apex of king. And all kings assist you in attaining your long-term goals. And this king has the talent of connecting the unconscious to the conscious self. And this is what you've needed all along. He's now the man that's in emotional control. Way back down at the base of your spine, the Page of Swords showed up, and that was the one that lacked control, lacked emotional control. And all of a sudden, it's saying now that you've mastered your passionate, emotional self. He's about using your worldly powers to your advantage. And it appears you've been taking advantage of this material quest because you received the Eight of Pentacles, and that's the worker bee card. It's about a talented person that brings reward and success from the fruit of his labors. He puts his nose to the grindstone to get things done. He's a hard worker. You know the old joke about a farmer being outstanding in his field? Well, this person is outstanding in the field that he undertakes. He's dedicated to a job well done, and his work is a labor of love. This card is also about security of the future. And let all those come to who by merit deserves the most reward. Now the Justice card appeared to tell you that something is out of balance, and it needs to be put back into balance. And here you're building with the Magician, and you've got your little hammer, and you're tapping with the Eight of Pentacles. So what could be wrong? There's two types of laws, and you've got the laws of the universe out in the cosmos, and you have the laws down here on Earth that make civility. So it's a double-edged sword of punishments and rewards that come with the Justice card. And she could wield her sword for accountability. Every action triggers a reaction. And this is one of those, you reap what you sow, what comes around goes around. Effect works to affect. And the truth will come out. And with the truth involved in this, this can indicate some type of legal matter, court proceedings, contracts and documents that in the eventuality will end up to your advantage. So here things have to balance the scale of justice, or else you've received the sword of accountability. This is about balancing honesty and decisions and legalities and putting things into the right that have been wrong. She holds the sword of truth, and it's ready for action. Okay, and now I rolled the dice, and you received Virgo, Jupiter, and the 5th house. Now, honesty is the best policy for the motto of this reading, especially with justice there. What you visualize is what you get, and the magician makes this so. Jupiter can be a detriment in Virgo because it can put a cramp in Jupiter's expansive spirit. The worker bee card, the Eight of Pentacles, indicates that you are busy on a project, or you're stepping into the magician's shoes and making your ideas into a reality. The magician brings innovative ideas into the party and nurtures an atmosphere of congeniality between co-workers. However, and there's always a however, Virgo's detail-oriented nature can put an anchor around your neck and inhibit progress in projects, or force some aspects of a project to suffer. This is where Cancer becomes defensive and overly sensitive and will retreat into a shell when nothing is done right or on time. The Justice card indicates you will be accountable for missing deadlines and that adjustments have to be made to find balance. In order not to overwork yourself to death, it's time for you to delegate or drop some aspects of this endeavor. It's better to have a realistic scope and do everything right the first time than backtracking to redo it at the expense of extra time and money. Heed the magician's presence and winnow out what isn't needed. So disorder seeks order. Misfortune besets you if you take on more than you can chew. The magician reminds you not to take only command, but take control of your life and your surroundings. Children will play a vital role in your happiness. Orthodox values and the enjoyment of giving draws you into your own little nirvana. Seek some enjoyment and entertainment with your family and friends over the weekend.